Hello, everyone.
Hi.
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 Kelly's been recruiting more and more people. So
Actually, I'm going to give props to Janine. She was the pusher on the marketing team. She did a great job.
great.
Awesome.
All right, Laura. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop my video if I can, and I can get us started, but I am clearly in the car because my son got out 20 minutes later than he was supposed to. We're almost home and I can get and be able to show, but I can talk you through the things that I don't need to necessarily show while we take the few minutes it's going to take to get all the rest of the way home. Okay.
All righty.
All right. So I'm going to take myself off video, and just since I have the confirmation that you can hear me. All right, let's see if I can figure out on the phone.
Zoe, I want to make sure that you are being safe.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yeah, so I can speak. I already have exactly what's going on, what I want
Okay.
to do for the first few minutes, and it doesn't require, so it'd be like speaking on the phone is what I'm going for.
Okay.
If I could actually get my video. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to stop my video and you'll still be able to hear me. There we go. All right. I've been assured that the rest of the car will be nice and quiet. We only have a few short minutes to get home. So I just want to welcome you. Apologies for the slightly weird situation. It's very unusual that I would have to be picking someone up at this time, and it was supposed to be, way earlier. That being said, like I was saying, the bit that I had prepared for the beginning of class anyway is easy to follow along with just my voice. So welcome. My name is Zoe Levine. If you're new here, apologies for the lack of video, but I know we can do this. And if not, just listen to my voice. And if you want to put your own screen on gallery view so you can see what other people are doing, that might be helpful for you. And part of what we do in the beginning anyway is do a little review for everyone. So we've done we were on our 5th movement vitamin idea this week. We're going to be talking about, let's review a few of the things that we've done before. First off, I invite you to actually stand up. So for a little something new, not that you have to create a practice of this yet, but I invite you to stand up. And if you can, if you're in a place where you could slip your shoes off, that would be really nice for now. Keep them on and still the same idea. And just stand and start to get a little bounce, a little bounce in your feet. Just when I talk about this in other classes that I teach, I talk about it like, what if your body was kind of like a snow globe and you're just trying to shake all the dust, glitter, snow down to your feet. And you can start to give a little, not just bounce, but kind of just a light shake, maybe a little shake of your hands, shake of your shoulders, maybe a little head bobble added to the bounce. Anything that helps that idea of let's just shake all the dust from the day, let it settle into your feet for a moment. Just keep shaking, keep a little light shake. And while you do your just little shake it up, I encourage you to use something like this if you're ever feeling stuck, very literally stuck, often whether it's a creative stickiness or your body just feels really like it's dragging or very stiff. One place to kind of hit the reset button, or one way to hit the reset button, is to just give a little shake out. And you can make that more vigorous if that's feeling good to you. Keep that shake going. You can make it a little bit more vigorous, bounce it out a little bit more, especially if you want to do one thing at a time, like one arm, shake it out really vigorously, like you're trying to shake something off of it, or the other arm, do one leg, the other leg. You can shake out your hips, your shoulders, just all one vigorous shake, and then find a stillness. And notice even after that short bout of shaking, like very literally shaking it up, you might feel a little different in the way your body is we can approach your body right now, right? Kind of shaking off the morning, shaking off, I don't know, wherever you felt like you're coming to an impasse through a decision, or it could be anything. So just notice the difference in how your body feels before and after a little shake. And just to review a couple of the things we've played with so far, take your hands to your low ribs, like on the side of your ribs, and just play with a big expansion on your inhale, opening up the side ribs, and then kind of give yourself a little squish, squeezing your ribs in on your exhale. And try to feel the difference between opening space and closing it up, allowing your ribs to notice that you've got more room to move, right? So that instead of a rib cage, it becomes a flexible rib basket. So you've got the ribs and the breath. And then we've also been playing with something we were calling the calf stretch. So if you have anything lying around, we've talked about using rolled up towel if you happen to be home, or maybe you're in the office now and you've started bringing stuff to the office to use. You could use a couple books, thick books stacked on top of each other. You could use kind of the bottom of a chair if it kind of has a little ledge you could put your toes on. The idea is to create a little height where you could put your toes up on that bit and your heel on the floor, and just stand there for a moment, getting a bit of a calf stretch. And remember, this is one that would be great. It's lovely to have in the office if you have a place for it. You could pair it with a towel rolled up while you're brushing your teeth. Finding and looking for space in the back of the leg, which I know doesn't seem like it would do much, but is so related to the low back pain, the hip pain, the knee pain, the neck pain, all that back line. Step off whatever you're using for a moment and feel your feet side to side. Notice the difference in the weight there. And then do the same thing to the other side. So toes are lifted up on whatever it is. Rolled up yoga mat sometimes works. Something to give a little lift to the front of your foot while your heel remains on the floor. Hang out here looking for space. A very simple ask that covers a lot of bases in terms of what we're looking to shift and change with your alignment over time. And when you're ready, you can step off of that one. And the one we introduced last week to continue the review here is the shoulder snow globe. So I invite you to play with this game. Press your arms out wide to the side and feel how your shoulder blades are far away from each other when you do that. Just pressing as far wide to the side as you possibly can. And then do the opposite of that. You squeeze your shoulder blades in so they come toward one another, even with your arms out. Do that. And then feel how you could widen your shoulder blades and really spread them out. And narrow your shoulder blades and squeeze them in. And from here, keep that width. So widen and let them be out and open. And with that, imagine you're inside your snow globe now, just to bring the snow globe image back. You're inside the snow globe and you're gonna reach your arms to this the glass edge or plastic, whatever your snow globe is made out of. You're gonna reach toward the edges of that. And it's like you're painting the inside of that snow globe by reaching really far away from, let's say, your heart space or your ribs, whatever makes sense. Reaching far, far away from that. Beautiful. Yeah, nice. All over. Paint the inside. Keep going until your shoulders burn a little bit.
So you're muted. We still can't hear you, Zoe. Maybe try dialing in on your phone for audio, but you can keep the video on.
Ben, you have to break into dance now for us, so we'll have to, follow your lead.
While we're waiting, we can do our rib breathing with our arm stretch,
Yes.
where you want to feel the breathing in your belly and your ribs and your, like right in here, fill it all the way up. And reach as high as you can.
And keep your ribs tucked, right?
Yes. And then you can move to the other side.
Now you're on here twice, Zoe.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? What was happening?
We
Yeah,
can-
your other one's like facing down. It's like, but then
We
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you on
now,
this
so
new
We can
one.
hear you.
Okay, but you heard me while I was in the car, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the transition.
I got inside and I was like, what's happening? I can't hear you and I can tell you can't hear me. You're not doing what I'm saying,
It's all good. Laura had us do the rib stretch.
Okay, good. Thank
Back
you.
over to you. Thank you, Laura.
I was like, why can't they hear me? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of my other one. All right. So you did the snow globe, arms just dangle by your side. And after all the rib stretch and the snow globe, notice how when your arms are by your side, just take a breath. Your breath might feel a little different. Your shoulders might rest a little with a little more space. I want to add another one to that shoulder idea. It's a new favorite. We're going to play with circles like this. I was picturing dolphins the other day, like doing little flips. So like this, but with your shoulders. So the shoulders go in and up and wide and down and in and up. It's hard. Wide, wide. They might have to melt wide, right? Sometimes it's hard to think, what do you mean wide? I can't do shoulders wide. So just play with that. That's a nice break throughout the day, just to remember that there might be width there, which would be surprising and amazing, right? To have width in your shoulders. Try to reverse that, little reverse dolphin. I don't know why I pictured dolphins doing like flips. That's the dolphin, in, out, and try not to be forward. It's just straight in, out, down, up. And you could do it with your arms down. You could do it with your arms wide, right? And just notice that's another way to move and play with your shoulders. Good. All right, so this next one's going to take a little creativity on your part with your space and will change depending on where you are. Our idea for this week, for the week, is hanging. If you just have a sink or a desk or a chair, you can kind of, a rolling chair doesn't work super well, but I'll show you on this and then show you other ideas. Remember this one, we've done it before, the stretch for the backs of the legs and that arms reaching out version. Do you see how it's almost like a little hanging? Like if this chair was more stable, like a desk is more stable, right? You can kind of pull on it and pull away. So that becomes almost like a hang, right? Your pelvis could kind of hang away and give you a nice side stretch. Well, that's the movement vitamin we're going to talk about is hanging. And I'm going to show you on the banister I have over here, but you're going to find somewhere in your space that you could mimic this for now. And so and it could be a doorway. I think I called it the doorway hang, which if you have a doorway where you can reach, if you're in a big fancy office with high ceilings, you're not going to be able to reach the doorway, right? The little overhang of the doorway. I don't have one here, I'm just pretending, but you can kind of poke your fingers on and sink your weight down to kind of play with the idea of hanging your pelvis heavy. If you don't have that, maybe you have banisters, maybe you have a railing, maybe you have something like that where you could hang. Again, this is where a still chair or desk comes into play, where you could lean back and let your hips hang back. You could do a little kind of almost like a swinging sort of side to side and play with the weight of your pelvis pulling away from your arms. Eventually, we'll start learning about a squat. You may or may not be in a place right this moment where you could sink down into a little bit of almost a squat, only as low as feels good, right? So not everybody's going to be able to squat all the way down and feel comfortable yet for knees and hips. Eventually, by the end of this year, maybe even in a few months, that will be comfortable enough for you. You don't have to go all the way down. You can go a little bit of the way down and then come back up, right? And just the idea of hanging. You can try one arm if you're on something that you can actually pull from. You could let one arm hang out long and the other, and you feel how that it's a different sort of pull. Instead of you reaching, you're using gravity to find a little length, shoulders down away from your ears. Another one that all of you will have at some point is a door frame, right? Just to keep cutting one thing or the other off. Just a door frame, right? Where you could hold the side of the door frame and just lean away from it. And I know you might not be in the best place right now on camera to get to a door. It could be a door, it could be a pole, a post, a railing. So even just that kind of side lean is good. That one feels really good. Good. So finding space in the same way that I was saying, finding space with your snow globes, right? Asking for the shoulders to have room. We tend to kind of pull our shoulders in. I called it Barbie shoulders, where they just get plugged in and stuck. So now we're going for expanse. If you've got that side lean, make sure it's not only kind of poking out the front. You can find a chest stretch, that's great, but also have it be slightly in front of you so you feel a little pull in the back as well, right? You feel the difference between kind of poking forward and the shoulder gets a little pokey out the top versus letting that soften in and feel the pull more in the back. Once you've done that for a while with one side, you can try the same thing to the other side, right? To make sure you get both sides. You don't have to face me the whole time. And so whatever you're doing now, maybe it becomes a different sort of idea in your life. Maybe you have a railing at home. Maybe we all have door frames at home. Maybe every time or every other time you walk through that door, you have a little moment where your fingertips actually have to grip and you have a little kind of falling away, right? You can do it many different angles, sideways, directly sideways, a little bit with the ribs falling back. It could still be a little bit of this kind of sitting your hips back away to get more of an opening under the armpit, right? So ideally, you start to think of something. Maybe there is one at the office. Maybe you start a silly trend at the office or on site, right? Maybe a silly trend of doorway hanging, right? Hanging from above, hanging from the side. And last thing I'll leave you with is if your fingers get tired, if that's one of the first things that gets tired, that's still part of the point. That finger strength and grip strength, a lot of us have really lost, right? This doesn't take a lot of strength. And then, yes, I didn't realize how tight my muscles were there, right? And it's very simple and easy.
And I'm going to leave you with that. So our goal for this week is to find a place for some sort of hanging. Hanging is a movement vitamin we've lost. Our weak fingers, our weak grip, our tight shoulders, our like plugged in shoulders. Just looking for light hanging in a way that feels good, in a place that you could be consistent with. Every time you pass it, you don't have to take your feet off the ground with any of this, right? It's just a little sense of hang. Does that make sense? Any questions? You're all wearing the same color today.
It's Women's Day, so we're wearing purple.
Purple.
And
Awesome.
actually, I wanted to see with the group if it's okay if I take a picture or a screenshot of us, because it's kind of cool to see us in our purple.
It is very purple. Yes. Let's
Is
do it.
everyone comfortable? Okay. Awesome.
Next time we got to start roping some men into this. It's hard to get, so it's really hard. I was going to think of ways to make that we need like a men's day here or something, but
We
It's-
have, I think
Ah.
Jeffrey is on.
good.
I was a little late.
That's
No
okay.
worries.
Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you for
Hello.
representing.
Yes, thank you for representing. And we need to continue to pull everyone in to this. So like Jenny was saying last time, I challenge you to find a buddy to do this with, to share even some of the ideas. Hey, this silly thing that we did today, it actually felt really good. You want to be my partner, and we'll keep, like every time we go through the doorway, we'll do this silly thing. And guess what? Our shoulders and our necks are going to feel a lot better because of it over time, right? It's these little things that feel a little bit better. And then over time, I'm telling you, like totally different experience being in your body with all of these little habits sprinkled in.
I'll definitely pass the message on and get the crew in on these.
Awesome.
And we've talked about even like if we want to get the warehouse going with this, we could do a little spotlight.
Okay.
So all open for ideas to engage. So
Okay.
let's have our marketing team on to help us with that.
Yep. And I can get really specific with groups of you. So I know some people are on site, some people are warehouse, some people are more desk sitting, and they're
Mhm.
all the same rules will apply, but I can get even more detailed and specific for different people once I know more about that too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so very much. And thanks for your patience with my car situation. And thank you for your concern over my safety.
Yeah.
Very nice, but and very appreciative that we were able to continue on.
And
Thank you.
Laura, for
Thank
filling
you.
in during the silence.
Bye. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.